Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? I hope you all are doing fine, and I hope you miss the school as we miss you all over here. And I hope that you are studying, you are paying attention to your studies, you are working at home, so that when you come back to your school, you have a lot of knowledge about your books, about your text, about your books. And now, let me tell you one thing. I am going to tell you something very important today. What you want to learn in this lesson is very important. Why it is important? Because it's about your personal life. The skill you are going to learn in this English class is something that is very personal, something that you might have know about it, or you might have not known about it. So now moving towards our topic. So our class is the fourth one. It's for the fourth class lecture, and subject is English, as you have read over here, and it's for the fifth week. And if I look at the, according to your book, it's unit number 3, and the name is The Artist. Now, if you look at this name, it's very interesting. When you look at the artist, that means it is something related to art. It is something that is going to be very innovative, that is going to be very professional, and you will learn a lot of things about it. So, our text type. I told you earlier before starting my lecture that what you are going to learn today is a very good skill, and it's something that is very personal. That means I am going to teach you how to do diary entry. Its text type is diary entry. That means diary is something that is very close to our heart. We write it daily on a daily basis. We write the conclusions, the characterization उसमें हम करते हैं. So diary writing के अंदर that is a very personal stuff. Nobody read except us. So it's all about our personal life. It's all about the things which we cannot show to the world and which we write on the diary. It's like our secret partner. So how do we write the diary? We write the diary. We started it with date. It's 28th May 2012. I have written down a date that is very of the previous years because I just wanted to tell you that normally we write a diary on a daily basis. But if you open up your diary, then first what you do is you do write a date, complete date, and then you start with the text. That means it was another dreadful day. So whatever you have experienced in the whole day, you write it down over on the diary. So let's see what we have in the box for you today. As you see, our subject is about diary writing today. It's about English, and you are going to learn a lot of skills in it. So as I told you that first you need to write down a date and then context. Context could be anything. Whatever you feel in the whole day, whatever you have experienced in the whole day, either it's a bad one, either it's a good one. So according to your book, it was another dreadful day. That means that the person who is writing this diary has a very hard day. Why? Because he doesn't like the things which happened in that day. Why so? The person who is writing this diary is not at all an art lover person. I am an art lover person, maybe you are an art lover person, but it's not possible in all the cases. The person who is writing this diary in your book is not an art lover at all. He is afraid of art because he has a secret, but that will be revealed by the end of our lesson. But before that, he was very unhappy with that day. So he started with a dreadful day. That means he told you that it's a very hard kind of a day. So it's not a good for him. He was not happy at all at that day. So when he said that, he told you in this context that he was writing a diary, and what he write in that diary is a kind of conclusions. What is that? I tell you. He has a 2 to 3 student in his art class, and everybody in his class is very very excited about the art, because they love to do drawings, they love to play with colors, with the pencils and all that kind of stuff. So what the writer says about it, he said that he has a friend, Ned, he's his class fellow. He is very much into arts, he loves to make sketches, so he was very happy. He was very happy about it. And the next person is Dexter. Dexter was a very turned out of fantastic landscape person. He always do a lot of landscapes, and he was very happy with that because he loved to draw nature. So the two person he mentioned in the diary is Ned, Dexter, and the third one is Susan. Susan was a person. Susan was a girl in his class, which has also won a competition in the landscape, because the person who was the judge, he loves his idea. So he draws three conclusions for three persons. One for he was good at art. Second is he was good in landscape. Third one is also in a good landscape. But he thinks that the third one might be a lucky person because he doesn't like his work. So moving towards the next thing. He said that our school is very known for innovative approach. If you hear about innovative approach, what does that mean? That means that something that you create at your own. That is something that people love to do it. That means that something you are it's like you are hitting the rock, but from the bottom. That means that you are gonna learn a lot of stuff that is not teach everywhere, that is not taught everywhere. So the school is very innovative. They love to create the skills in the persons. And he said that according to him, there are many innovative lecturers, there are many innovative persons who came to their school just to give them a lecture. For example, he told about environmentalists, he told about doctors, he told about engineers, he told about mountaineers, he told about many other stuff. So he think that they are always there to lecture them. So he was very bored of them because he doesn't like more innovation. So he said that, isn't that enough? Isn't that that should be stop over there? But no, our school gonna portray more. So he said that now they have an artist over there. So what they gonna do is they are going to learn a lot of stuff. Why he is not an art person? Why he is not an innovative person? Why he doesn't like art? Why he doesn't like to play with the colors? Why? That's a secret. That's all about you are going to learn at the end. So he concluded that day that he was very unhappy, and he just feel that this day should not be conducted, or the art competition should not be done at the school. So that was the day of 28th May 2012, and he concluded that day as an unhappy and unsatisfied day. Now he jumped on the second day. How? Because the whole things happened in the day. Now he came back home. Now he's writing the diary. Now when he's writing a diary, he's going to again mention the date. For example, it's 28th May over here. Then on the next day, date would be changed. This is for the one page, and it will turn to the second page. Second page would be 28 to 29. Here he would be write 29 May 2012, and then he start writing. What he start writing about that day? He told you first he sum up whole experience of that day. He said it was an unimaginable thing that happened on that day. Unimaginable thing that he is very surprised to know it, and he is very kind of happy to have that in his life. So the artist so the person who was writing the diary, he said it's unimaginable thing happened at that day. What was that thing? He said that when he was in the classroom, everybody was excited, everybody was looking for his color. At that moment, an artist came in. and he has a very floppy hair. He was a very happy kind of a personality. He just jumping in the class. He waved good morning to the everybody, and he started to ask about the students. And he was like, it was like that he was very surprised to see him, because he was not as he expected, as he thought that he might be. He thought that the artist might be like a doctor, he might be a dull or a boring kind of a person. But what he learned in this thing in that day is that the artist is very innovative, and they are very fun and kind of loving kind of personalities. So in that day he learned about this stuff. So he said about giving, after waving good morning and after giving a brief introduction, he said to everybody, start making your canvas. Everybody has a canvas about it. Do you have an idea what a canvas is? Okay, if you don't have an idea, let me tell you. A canvas is something on which you like to paint. It's kind of a board. It could be a paper. It could be something that is on which you can paint. So about canvas, he thought everybody has a canvas on that day. Everybody has a paint on that day. So artists instruct them to draw something on their canvases. So everybody was ready to do whatever they have in their minds. He doesn't told them that they need to draw landscape, they need to draw abstract art or something of this sort, but instead he said whatever comes to your mind, do at that canvas. So after that, when everybody was very happy, when everybody was trying to paint their canvas, the person who is writing this diary, he was very scared of his secret. He was very scared that his secret might be revealed. He was unable to, he was not willing to play with the colors. He was not willing to do the canvas stuff. He was not he was not able to paint that canvas. So he was sitting idly. When he was sitting idly, he just came to know that the artist wasn't stick to one point. He was not standing on the one point, but instead he was roaming about. He was going from one student to another and from another, and he was looking what the children are doing, and he was giving them an appreciation as well. But what when he saw that the artist is moving towards him, he was in he was in great tension. So instantly what he done, he put up his paint tubes, and he just pulled them up on their canvas. He just spread them on the canvas and he just start dabbing it. Dabbing means that you have no idea what you are doing, but you are instantly paint the whole canvas with a different kind of colors. So he was like this, he was dabbing. Dabbing means that you are like this, in this motion you are dabbing that canvas. So he was dabbing it. So when he was dabbing it, he made a kind of colorful kind of pattern, but he doesn't know what he has done. But when he was in quite fear that the artist might know about his secret and the whole class would know about it, instead of that thing, the unimaginable thing that he mentioned earlier was, what was that? That the artist started applauding. That means he applauded. That means he clapped for him and he said, marvelous. He said marvelous. That means that he was very happy about what he has done on his canvas. He was very happy that he played with color very carefully and he done it very beautifully. So everybody in the class stopped working and start looking at him. Now the person who is writing the diary is thinking in his mind that I am the lucky enough that the artist doesn't know about his secret. Now we are moving towards the point, what was his secret? What was his secret? His secret was that he was not an art lover person, because he doesn't know what the colors are. He doesn't distinguish between two colors. He was a color blind. Do you have an idea what the color blind is? You might have an idea about what a color blind person is. Color blind person is a person who doesn't describe the difference between the two colors. For example, if I show him a red and a green color, or a yellow color, he doesn't know the difference which color is yellow, which color is green, or which color is red. So basically the person who doesn't differentiate between color is a color blind person. The writer of that diary was a color blind person. So his secret, which he was afraid to tell people, was that he was a color blind. He never tell about himself that he's a color blind to his class fellows, to his school, to his teachers. So he was very afraid that his secret might reveal. So that's why he was not willing to do the art thing. So he thought that it was a closed shape. Why he thought it was a closed shape? Why? Because the artist loved his work. Artist loved his work. He thought it's a marvelous. He clapped for him. Everybody loved his work. But he know himself inside that it wasn't. It was just by instinct. It wasn't his thing. So because he doesn't know what color he used on that canvas, so he was happy about it, and he thought that God had saved him from revealing his secret. So he was very happy. So he concluded his diary on that day that it was a very good experience. He loved that day though, and he said that I just wonder how many time I can how many time I will artist को जो है वो how many times he can जिसको आप कह सकते हैं कि how many time he will not know about that he's a colorblind person. Might in some other days the artist or the person in his school or in his class they know about it that he's a colorblind person, so he doesn't want to reveal his secret. So in this diary, what you have learned that on the diary you start with a date. It is your personal blog, it is your personal thing in which you write whatever you feel, whatever you do in the entire day, whatever you feel in that day, and either it's a good, either it's a bad, either it's your secret. You always write everything on your diary, but you don't show it to the others. So in this thing, I think it's a very good habit because if you start writing a diary, for example, I will ask you to write a diary. Why I ask you to write a diary? Because if you write a diary, with the passage of time, what you're going to learn is your skills, your writing skills, your imagination skills, and the things, how to describe your feelings will get better and better and better. Because if you look at the things like the writer is, you might do mistakes at the start, but with the passage of time, your writing skill will improve and it will help you in your next life, I mean in your future life. It could be your professional life, it could be your school, college life, it could be your university life. So it is always helpful because if the person who know how to describe himself is a very good thing, because there are a lot of people in this world who doesn't know how to describe their feelings, how to describe them. So they might feel a lot of troubles, a lot of problems in this world. So I will suggest you to write a diary on a daily basis so that you know that what to do what to do and how to tell about people what you feel. Okay, so now moving towards our next thing. So now we are talking about, first we talked about your lesson, the artist, that is unit number 3 on your English course book 4. This was your the thing, the artist, which I have summarized you over here, which I told you why we like to write diary, why should we write a diary. Second is on page number, it is on page number 32 and 33. On page number 34 and 35, it's an exercise what you need to do at your home. Why? Because we are sending you through WhatsApp, you are getting the notes, or through our site you are getting the notes. Now if we look at this book, then it has a lot of difficult words over it. That would be your dictation words. Dictation words may, it could be dreadful, hated, everyone, seemed, beautiful, fantastic, landscape, all the words that you that sound difficult to you, and there are little easy words as well. You do it for your dictation. Now we are moving towards our page number 36. It is about the things which you have learned in this chapter, and it is about your grammar stuff. What we are going to learn today is vocabulary. What we are going to learn today is homographs. Homographs, as you see on this word, homo means same and graphs means different things. So homograph, basically from the words you can conclude that homograph might be something that these are the words which have the same spelling. That means spelling might be same, but it could be different, but different meaning and pronunciation would be different. So most of the time the spellings are same, and their meaning is and pronunciation is different. First, the thing that I have over here is example content. Content is something like matter of something. Matter of something, that means that it could be matter of your book. For example, if you look at this book, that you might ask me that, ma'am, what is the content of this book? That means what the writer has written in that book. That means what this book include. That means all the stuff that includes in this book is comes under content. Content could be about book, about letter, about something which I have written in that thing. So moving towards, it could be the content of a magazine, it could be anything. The next step is content. See, the spellings are the same, content and content. Content means matter of something, something which a book hold or which a magazine hold, which includes, content means happy, satisfied. So you see that the spellings are the same, C-O-N-T-E-N-T, but the how we pronouncing it? We are pronouncing this thing as content and this thing as content. So that means content means I am happy, I am satisfied with my job, with my life. For example, we normally say that I am happy with my life. And for the content we say what is the content of this book. So it is all about, that means homographs are the things which have the same spelling but their meanings are different, their pronunciations are different. So if you look at this thing, homographs normally we use in our daily life. So this is the example which is not mentioned in your book. Why I have choose this example? Because I want to tell you that what is the difference. I want to tell you something different as well. Now moving towards our next example. So our next example is, see the words I have write it down over here, it have the same spelling. Say L-I-V-E, L-I-V-E. But now coming towards its pronunciation, it is live, it is live. Live means the place of your residence. Live means the place of your residence, the place where you live. Now moving towards live. Live is something which, watching something which is currently happening. That means that is going, that's something that is going on. So we are talking about live and live. Same spelling but their pronunciations are different and the meanings is a whole different thing. Live, for example, where do you live? That means kahan rehte hain aap? And live means I am watching a live tele show, I am watching a live football match on the internet. That means I am watching something that is happening right now, that is going on right now. That is live and this is live. Now we are moving towards the thing that has mentioned in your book. Includes two things. If you look at this thing, that is minute and that is minute. The spellings are same, but if you use it in the different, the pronunciation is different. For example, this is minute, this is minute. I am sure the tailor can fix the minute holes in my skirt. That means कि tailor जो है वो मेरी skirt में से minute, the little one, the hole which are very little, can fix it. That means minute means basically very tiny, very little. For example, atom is made up of tiny molecules. So it's basically minute. Now moving towards minute. 60 seconds makes a minute. That means 60 seconds make एक minute बनाते हैं. So it's all about minute and minute. They have the same spelling, but their pronunciation is different and their meaning is totally different. We do have another example. So use a dictionary to find another meaning for each homograph. For example, tear. What you are going to do is rip. That means its meaning in English you need to write it down. Object, a thing. That means a touchable thing which you can touch with your hands. Produce, things grown on a farm. To make, that means what we make. And row is a disturbance. That means a straight line. A straight line, for example, I have drawn like this. It's a straight line. So moving towards our next topic of your grammar. Okay, so now we are moving towards from page number 36. We are moving on page number 37. 37 is a grammar page on which we are going to discuss about past continuous tense. As you have mentioned over here, it's the past continuous tense. So now we'll see what the past continuous tense. If you look at the things, at the first thing, that is past. Past means something which happened earlier, something which happened before, that is past. Continuous means it shows continuity. Continuity, that means the thing which is going on right now. So it has both the things. It has the things which have you done earlier and the continuity, that means the things which are going on right now. So basically past continuous tense is like something, it shows parallel actions. That means two actions, one which happened earlier and the second is which is happening right now. So if you look at its definition, we use the past continuous tense to show an action that was going on. That means the things which are doing currently and when a second action took place. And the thing when the thing which is going on and the thing which is done earlier. That means before you can learn it from your example. For example, I heard a noise while I was dishing. That means I heard a noise. मैंने एक शोर सुना. That means this thing happened earlier. While I was dishing, जब मैं यानी कि जो है वो बर्तन धो रही थी या धो रहा था. So basically it shows parallel action. It shows two things. The thing like suna, heard, and the thing doing, dishing. So it shows parallel actions. That means the two actions, one which took place and one which is going on. So it's all about past continuous tense. That means past means the thing which happened earlier. Continuous shows the continuity. That means things which are going on. So it is a combination of two things. It's a combination of the thing which happened at that point and the thing which is going on. So it has a parallel action. That means two actions are going on the same thing. For example, I heard a noise while I was dishing. And for another example, let me tell you something that it express uninterrupted action. It express uninterrupted action. For example, I was driving to school when I crashed my car. That means I was driving to school when I crashed my car. So it shows parallel action. That means I was driving, I was going to school when I crashed my car, when I had an accident. So it's all about two parallel actions which is going on. One which at the same time, two parallel action. It is uninterrupted actions. And what else it has? It has a repetition and irritation. For example, irritation we can show through this repetition, the things which is going on over and over again. For example, he was complaining about his work all the time. That means he has done it in the past. He has done it before. Now what he is doing again, complaining about the class. So it's basically two things which he has done earlier and the thing which he is going to do right now, which he is doing right now. That means it shows continuity. The things which I have done earlier is about the past. The things which is going on is about continuous. So it's a combination of two parallel actions. So we have a lot of examples over here. For example, fill in the blanks using the past continuous tense of the words in the bracket. First is, I packed my bags and paints when my sister called me. I was packing my bag and paints. That means what was I was doing before? I was packing my bags. When my sister called me, जब मुझे मेरी sister ने बुलाया. That means this is the action which doing earlier. And this shows continuity and this shows the past tense. So next example, the art expert was whispering to my teacher when the bell rang. So it shows the continuity and it shows the two parallel actions. That means he was doing something and something other happened. That means two parallel actions at the same time. It shows uninterrupted actions. That means the two things are going on at the same pace. And it also shows the repetition of something. That means the things which you have done earlier and the things which you are going to done right now, which the things which you are going to do, which things which you are going right now. So it's about continuity and the past. So now we are moving towards our next page, that is page number 38. Okay, so now moving towards our next topic, that is also from grammar. It's on page number 38. That is a complex sentence. First we need to learn what a complex sentence is. What a complex sentence. Complex, as you see from the meaning complex, that means something that is very intense, or that is something which includes kind of two things. So a complex sentence is made up of one main clause and a dependent clause, and we use connectors to join up. That means what you might be wondering what main clause is. Main clause is something which gives you complete sense of standing alone. That means a sentence which gives you a complete thing. For example, I was crying. मैं रो रहा था. That is a main clause. That means something which tells you everything. For example, if you are writing only a sentence, I was crying, it gives you a complete sense that the person was crying. That means I was crying, मैं रो रहा था. It gives you a complete sense. The sentence is complete. So it gives you a complete sense of standing alone. That is called main clause. Now moving towards our next thing, that is dependent clause. What a dependent clause means? Dependent clause, something that is dependent on other things. That means it cannot give you a complete sense. That means it doesn't give you a complete sense. For example, if you look at on this only on this thing, I picked up my paintbrush. मैंने अपने paintbrush उठाए. For what? It doesn't give you a complete sense. So it has to depend on main clause to give you a complete sense. So main clause gives you a complete sense. It's a complete thought, and it gives you a complete view by standing alone. That means even if you write a main clause, that means that is good enough. The person understands what is going on. For example, I was crying. It's a main clause. So the sentence is complete. That means I was crying. That means मैं रो रहा था. Sense is complete. Sentence is complete. It is a complete thought. But when we are moving towards the dependent clause basically, first it depends on other to make its complete sense, and it's an incomplete thought. If you say talk about another thing that it gives you an incomplete sense. I was crying, complete sense. I picked up my paintbrush. मैंने अपने paintbrush उठाए. For what? That means it is not giving you a complete thought. It doesn't give you a complete sense. So it depends on this thing to give a complete sense. So what we do is we use connectors. When is a connector, but is a connector, because is a connector. Connectors basically but, when, then, and because. These all are connectors. There are a lot of connectors as well. So we use these words to join two tenses to give a complete sense. So a complex sentence includes two tenses. One part is called main clause, second part is called dependent clause, and we use connectors to join the sentence to give a complete sense. I was crying when I picked up my paintbrush. मैं रो रहा था जब मैंने अपने paintbrush उठाई. So now it gives you a complete sense. Moving towards on your chapter's example. For example, if you look at this, I saw my teacher as I was walking towards the classroom. I saw my teacher, that means it is a main clause. मैंने अपनी teacher को देखा, that is a main clause. It gives you a complete sense. Yeah, that means the sense is complete, thought is complete, that I have seen my teacher. I saw my teacher. As we use as a connector, the word which we use to connect two sentences. So as I was walking towards the classroom. I was walking towards the classroom is independent clause. Why? Sorry, dependent clause, because it depends on main clause to give a complete sense. I was walking towards the classroom. मैं classroom की तरफ जा रहा था. Then it gives you an incomplete thought. The person might have a thought in his head that what was going on. That means if he was going towards the class, then what? So I was walking towards the classroom as I saw my teacher. I saw my teacher as I was walking towards my classroom. That means I saw my teacher is a main clause, as is a connector, and then we move towards I was walking towards the classroom. That is a dependent clause. It depends on main clause to give its complete sense. So we use comma after a dependent clause if we write it before. Okay, so if we use the dependent clause at the beginning, if the dependent clause comes at the beginning, for example, whenever grandma visits, we put a comma. Instead, we use whenever grandma visits, जब कभी भी grandma आती यानी visit करती हैं, we put a comma over here. The children want her to make pizza. बच्चे उनसे यानी pizza बनाने की जो है वो ख्वाहिश करते हैं. So it's like this, that if I, for example, if I was crying when I picked up my paintbrush, if the complex in a complex sentence, the dependent clause comes after the main clause, we use connectors. But if whenever the dependent clause comes at the beginning, we use comma to draw the complete sense. Whenever grandma visits, the children want her to make pizza. So it's all about our today's topic, complex sentence. So if we look at another example, although we had a huge dinner, we still wanted an ice cream. That means although we had a huge dinner, that means this one is a dependent clause. So it is coming at the beginning. It is coming at the beginning of the complex sentence. So we put the comma over here, and we still wanted ice cream for desserts. So that means हमें desserts के लिए ice cream जो है वो चाहिए. So it means if the dependent clause at the first, we use comma to connect the sentence, but if the dependent clause comes at the end, we use connectors to give a complete sentence or give a complete sense. So you have an exercise over here. You will get it through the WhatsApp, and you need to do it at your home. Now moving towards our next page, that is page number 39. It's about spelling. Read the words with a long vowel EW. If you look at the word EW, EW, long vowel EW. Why it is called long vowel? Because it has two things. It's EW, it gives a sound of U. For example, blew, flew, then drew, few. So this is a long vowel EW, and it comes at the end of the words and it gives a sound of U. For example, blew, flew, drew, few, knew, crew, threw. All these are the words. These all are kind of things. Fill in the bubbles with the words from the word list. The words are given up over here. Now what you are going to do is you are going to fill this up. Newspaper, EW. That is EW, newspaper. He is throwing the ball, so it's a use threw. So the bird is flying, so it's flew. The boy was drawing, so it is drew. So fill in the blanks. Look at on the this thing, the vowels, long vowels over here, and then fill this blank over here. Do it at your home. I hope you enjoyed this lecture, and I hope you learned a lot of new skills in this lecture. If you go through your complete thing, then what you have learned is in this lecture. You have learned how to write a diary. You have learned the words homograph. For example, the words who have the same meaning, but pronunciation and the meaning is different. So you have learned that the two things which look same might have a different pronunciation and different meaning as well. And then we have learned about the past continuous tense, that the two things, two parallel actions happening at the same time. And then we learned about a complex sentence, that how we are use connectors, how we use comma, and what the main clause is, what the dependent clause is. Then we have learned about long vowel EW. So we learned a lot of stuff about we have learned about grammar, we have learned about our personal stuff. So we have learned a lot of basic skills to learn English. So I hope you enjoyed this lecture, and I hope you do your work at home, and I hope you are waiting impatiently to join the school back. So till then, Allah Hafiz, stay home, stay safe, and do your work. Please, whenever you come to school, so that you have a complete knowledge of this book. I'll be happy to see you in the school. Thank you.